When Agent Doggett is shot, Agent Reyes must uncover not only who attempted to kill him, but why and how.
Her gun was used in the crime. How did this criminal do the impossible?
This is not happening.
How indeed, Mike. How indeed.
Oh, that is the question.
It's almost like another reality was inflicted upon her.
So this episode is notable, not only for being, I would say, the first time travel episode, aside from Synchrony. I mean, Synchrony is a different thing. This one's more parallel universe.
I would argue Dreamland.
Okay.
Has a lot in common with the DNA of this episode.
Fair enough. Would you consider Dreamland on the level of a postmodern Prometheus? Like, in the sense that it didn't actually happen. Like, this is an adventurous tale with our favorite characters. Because I don't put it on that level.
Let me just say, and I'm jumping right to final thoughts. I hate any TV episode which goes to "it was all a dream" territory.
Absolutely.
And that was Postmodern Prometheus, that was Dreamland, and that was this episode, where it was basically like the characters waddled around for 42 minutes doing stuff, and then at the end are right back where they started with no consequences. So we had a exploration of
an adventure
stuff, but it has no consequence. And arguably, does any of these episodes have a consequence on the characters? Because it's not serialized. It's not, a constant thread of story. Stuff happens, and then, the next week.
So that's
the one does not.
That's a negative approach to this. Okay. I didn't know if I should be expecting that or not, but okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So, sorry, to your original question, is it on the level? They try and amp the stakes up a lot. And it should be noted, this is Stephen Maida who wrote this. He's written a couple of other good scripts. So I am not going to fault him completely, because it does bite off a big chunk of script. Like the idea of parallel universes and traveling between them is it's a tall order to write for, especially in this show. So good for him for doing that. But then it gets laden with this moral choice aspect. And I'm like,
laden?
Well, we'll get into it.
Yeah, let's get into
the decision to pull the plug on Doggett is just like,
well, I mean, not to bury the lead, but he asked for it.
If people listening have not heard that or have not seen the episode and understand the stakes that will happen, then they should just pause, go watch 4D, and then come back. You can see it on Hulu, and I think if you buy Prime, you can see it there. Maybe, I don't know.
All right,
but yeah, to answer your question, I don't think it rises to the level of those two other shows I didn't like that much.
Oh, okay. All right. So, write down, I was not expecting that.
Yes, you shouldn't expect it.
Okay.
It's also worth noting before I get into it, the dedication at the end. Yeah. Did you unpack that a bit?
Yeah, I did. The victim of a senseless gang crime.
Yeah.
Person who works in props, correct?
Yeah. Jose Erguen.
Yeah.
Who works on props, and the victim here was his stepson, which is...
Yeah, it sounds like it was completely unprovoked and random. Yeah. Just happened to get gunned down or killed somehow by gang members outside, just for the hell of it. So they dedicated this episode to him. Very terrible stuff.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. This season so far, we've got 2 dedications, and it's one person dying in 9/11 during the attacks, and now this. So. And then season 8, the beginning of season 8, the guy who died on production.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Right. I was going to pity the land that lives with flags at half-mast.
Well, is that all you wanted to cover?
That is
okay. I didn't know how to segue
episode,
from that into let's start the episode
on a more optimistic note. Yeah.
All right. Well, we open. A man mills about an apartment building. In the background, we see a disheveled woman fixing her bike. It's Monica. The man cases the joint quietly, flipping through a magazine and checking cameras. Doggett is watching with Fulmer from a van nearby. They think they've got their guy, Lucas. The man is someone they've been hunting for some time now, known for attacking women and cutting out their tongues. Doggett worries for his partner, but Fulmer assures him she's okay, and that she volunteered. They wait for him to approach his mailbox to be sure it's him. Open 4D, Fulmer mutters. The man fiddles with his mailbox key and then abruptly leaves. Monica begins to follow, but keeps her distance, gun drawn. She enters a dark hallway to see a door close. It's the stairwell. She continues. She checks in that she's lost sight. Suddenly, Lucas appears behind her, swiping at her with a knife, and she screams. The agents outside bolt out of the van and rush inside. They find Reyes on the ground in the stairwell, blood pouring out of her mouth. Fulmer immediately calls for EMS, and Doggett rushes off to find Lucas. In the chaos, Fulmer calls to him. Doggett bursts out of the back alley and draws his gun on Lucas, who is casually walking away from the scene. Sirens grow louder as cop cars arrive and block the alleyway behind Doggett. There's no escape for Lucas. He turns to face Doggett and raises his hands. They're crimson with Monica's blood. He grins to one side. Doggett, holding him at gunpoint, turns his head quickly to call the officers back here. When he turns back, Lucas is gone. There's nowhere to go. His eyes left him for a fraction of a second. He steps forward. The commotion and police radio chatter behind him slowly fades away. The camera circles. There are no cop cars. Lucas then appears behind him, gun drawn, surprises him, and fires. Credits.
Okay.
All right. Arguably a better opening than Daimonica's.
That could definitely be argued. Although there's 100% less Scrabble in
There's
4D.
100% less game in this episode.
I don't know if it could be said it's a better opening, but anywho, it is. I will give it that it's an interesting open. It is.
Are you complaining yet?
Well, let me just reveal. Let me take away the tension of waiting for me to complain.
All right, I'm just going to insert seatbelt sound here. I'm going to strap myself in.
Attach seatbelt. Attach your 5-point harness. I don't think Stephen Maida has investigated or done research on how the FBI might process a sting like this.
Okay.
Do you believe they need to wait for him to open his mailbox to positively identify him?
I mean,
they
must have nothing else to go on. They've concluded that whoever lives in 4D is guilty of whatever they're investigating. So,
I mean, honestly, 2000s law enforcement, I am amazed they don't just lift this guy. You know, they don't just like, hey, I think you look like the guy we're looking for. Why don't you just step into this van I've got here? Or put a bag over his head. Like the idea that they need him to open his mailbox as confirmation that he is the guy they're looking for.
Yeah.
Like, why not just wait for him to go into his apartment? Or I don't know. That to me was a little strange. And the tension around it. And then when he doesn't open the mailbox and they have Marcus to take it on herself to go and follow him gun drawn. I just like, so you're not sure that this is the guy and you need him to open his mailbox to be sure it's him, but you're kind of sure it is enough that you're going to chase after him with your gun drawn. So what is it? Which is it? Like this is Stephen Maida writing it so that you've got some tension and then it needs to amp up so that she can get her throat slashed and they can have a confrontation. It felt very clunky. I liked the action element of it. You know, it's a strong open, but immediately as the credits are rolling, I'm like, but wait a second, why did she chase after him? That didn't seem to make any sense. Why did they need him to open the mailbox?
She can't be stopped. She knows what she knows, and she probably got a feeling that he was the bad guy.
Oh, true. But if only we had some voices in her head, that would have really made it clear for me.
This is Lucas.
This is him. You might die, but you should chase after him on your bike.
That's the ruse there. She's just a cyclist. She's an avid outdoorsman. Exercising. She lives.
We've always known that about her. Yeah. Between her smoking and her biking, she's an adrenaline junkie.
Oh, okay.
I am not going to get into the power yet, but it was a cool effect. I thought it was neat.
I think they handled that very well.
Yeah.
I'm not...
That he was there and then he wasn't there. That was a very cool little bit. Mm-hmm. And it was just in-camera stuff. Very smart.
Yeah. There's subtleties to that scene, and I know it's quick and it's whatever, and probably maybe by accident, but I think there is enough there to jive with the explanation at the end of the episode where Doggett unknowingly has stepped into another dimension. So I think that's a cool idea, and I think that scene just overall done very well.
Yes.
And for those of you who thought maybe, possibly, that this was the end of Reyes, I don't mean to burst your bubbles, but that is not the case.
Keep watching.
We come back. Monica's apartment. She's setting up her new home. She'll be in D.C. for a while. Doggett arrives at her open door, conveniently offering his help, just after the movers have left. He's brought her a gift, though. Polish sausage, the best in the city. The two share a moment as Doggett takes a huge bite out of his. She goes to grab some plates, much to Doggett's dismay, and is distracted by a call from the other room. It's Skinner. He's calling with some bad news. Agent Doggett has been shot in an alley. He's going to the hospital. Monica, understandably, is baffled. That's impossible. Doggett is... She walks back to the kitchen. He's gone. The apartment's empty. In the hospital, she steps off the elevator and Fulmer intercepts. Skinner's at the crime scene. Fulmer is in charge. He just needs to know why Doggett was in the alley. He wasn't, she protests. He was at her apartment. Confusion washes over Fulmer's face. She breezes past him to meet Scully, who has been with John. Update is not so good. If he pulls through this, it's likely he'll be paralyzed for life. Reyes unloads. She hasn't understood one word anyone has said in the last half hour. I'm really just guessing here. We really don't know how long it's been since she got the call from Skinner, locked up her apartment, went downstairs and to her car in afternoon traffic.
But I'll get into that after. Yeah.
Whoever is in that room is not John Doggett, she says. Well, all three of them visit him. He lies motionless, a neck brace, monitoring. Reyes grasps his hand. It's a somber moment for all of them. At the FBI, we go to the ballistics. Skinner and the technician are processing a bullet found lodged in the alley wall, likely from a Sig Sauer P226 or 228, possibly FBI. It didn't come from Doggett's weapon, though, Skinner says. His gun was never fired. Fulmer pulls him aside. He wants timely updates, sensing that the bullet was found likely an hour or two ago, and he's just finding out about it now. He wants to keep the lines of communication open. Fulmer wants the ballistics run through the FBI database, but Skinner can't believe another agent could have done this. There's obvious tension between them. It's a not-so-subtle vie for power by Fulmer. He's not being rude. He's just making Skinner know that he's in charge.
Again, I renew my objection, Your Honor, to this murky chain of command. I feel like Skinner needed to be demoted to AAD.
Yeah, two ADs can't outdo each other, but
that's
what's happening.
Or make it clear that Fulmer is a deputy director and that Skinner is a
The only way this works,
yeah,
because I'm with you. I don't see how he can swing his dick around, either of them. But the only way this works is if Lukish was a case he was investigating with his department, whatever that is. But then why are Agents Reyes and Doggett involved?
Well, nobody knows anything about Lukish in this dimension, is the through line.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I dig. Again, I'm going to start laying the groundwork for what I'm quoting as the big discussion point, which is the power Lukish has to transport himself between dimensions.
Okay.
So it sort of gets unpacked a little bit later, but I think to make sense of this episode in this moment, you have to understand that we are in dimension B versus the opening, which was dimension A. And in dimension A, they have the big investigation into Lukish. In dimension B, nobody knows squat about Lukish.
Yeah, they're not keyed into it.
Yeah. And to be fair, to make it work, I did not like the fact that the phone call happened to Monica, and it was Skinner saying, Doggett's been shot. He's in the hospital. He was in an alley. Get down here. And she's like, what? But he's right here. And then he turns around and he's gone. If it's literally you transfer between dimensions, should it not be that when he did get shot, he would have been transferred then, and then, he wouldn't have shown up at her apartment because he would be bleeding out in an alley.
I think what we're seeing is the two instances happening at the same time, but we're seeing them at two separate times. I think you're putting it in very linear fashion. I think we get the open 100%. And then after the credits, it's still the same time, but we're just seeing the other half of it.
Oh, I don't think it lines up that well. And it is extremely linear because that's how I'm visualizing it. But I will allow them, I will overrule my own objection by saying that time shenanigans are huge in this. At the end of the episode, they just wipe the slate clean. Like she literally goes back in time. So in that case, this totally is allowable.
All right. I don't know where to go from here.
Listen, I don't think any of this is going to make sense. At some point, when you feel like we have covered enough ground to talk about Lukash's power, I want us to just, go into the other room and talk about dimension travel, because
I'm excited to get into that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Monica is still struggling to comprehend and watches Doggett from the hospital hall, and Scully is at her side.
I don't understand how any of this is possible. He was with me, Dana, in my apartment. How can this be?
I saw something once. It's only been the last couple of years that I've fully come to terms with it. At 94, my father passed away. And that night, I think, that very moment that it happened, he came to me. I like to believe that he came to say goodbye.
A visitation. I think that's wonderful. A blessing. But that's not what happened to me.
Scully.
It's me. Is Reyes with you?
Yeah, she's here. We're both still at the hospital.
I need you to bring her to the 6th District Police Station. I'm on my way there myself.
What's this about?
I'll tell you when you get there.
Well, at the police department, Monica and Scully arrive to meet Skinner. He summons just Reyes inside the office. Fulmer's waiting and asks her to take a seat. He wanted to clear a few things up, get her story straight. She's confused. You said you were with Doggett when he was shot. Well, she wasn't with him. He was with her at her apartment when Skinner called. Fulmer leaves in. I'm on your side. You have to give me something. What are you trying to cover up? Scully tries to interfere, refusing to believe Monica would have anything to do with this, but Skinner stops her as Lukish is escorted in by an officer. They've checked the ballistics multiple times. It was your gun. Beyond that, they have an eyewitness placing her at the crime scene. She puts it together. That's why she's here. so someone can make an ID. The officer who brought Lucas to the glass thanks him for his time, and Lucas smiles. Anything I can do to help. Ooh, a twist, Andrew.
Yes. Our bad guy is now a good guy.
He's a good guy. He's helping out. He's making sure she goes down for this.
Well, he's just a mean son of a bitch.
I think it's a decent reveal. It's an interesting little twist, especially given the fact that Skinner and Scully have no idea who he is. He's just a witness.
Well, I don't think even Reyes has any idea who this guy is. At this point.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So far, I think the episode, given your complaint, I like it so far. I think it's heading in a good direction.
I have to be careful to sort of parse out when the sort of intelligence of the power is knowable enough for us to ask questions. Because in first watch territory, this is a very cool episode. Apart from what I think is a very haphazard FBI investigation to Lucas at the beginning. If I just disregard that and go, well, shit happens. They're not always perfect investigations. Fine, whatever. Right now, it just looks like he can seemingly affect people's minds and teleport and stuff. It's not clear, that there is a interdimensional transportation aspect. So from that aspect, it is cool that he has now showed up and is now on the opposite side. He's not a villain. He is seemingly just a civilian. So that's cool. I dig him.
Absolutely. Monica, the suspected killer, is at John's side. When Skinner and Scully arrive, she mocks that they're there to make sure she doesn't finish the job. They don't believe she did this, but the evidence looks bad. Fulmer's case has some loopholes, though. For one, she was across town when she got the call from Skinner. Plus, her gun remains unfired. It doesn't make any sense. Monica asks about the eyewitness, but Skinner shuts her down. It doesn't matter right this moment, because Doggett is stirring. It's just his finger. His eyes open a little bit. Scully doesn't hesitate to shine a pen light in the poor man's eyes.
Hey, she is a medical doctor. She's allowed to do
But
that.
Skinner, however, keys in on his index finger. He recognizes the tapping pattern he's making. Morse code. He grabs a pen and a pad to begin deciphering.
Do you know Morse code?
No, not well enough to...
How about SOS? Do you know that one?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
How does it go?
1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, something like that?
No.
I don't know.
I think it's ... dash ... ...
Well, so the 1, 2, 3. Okay. Whatever.
It's the 1, 2, 3. Actually, you're right. It's totally accurate. I apologize.
How dare you question that?
And you know what? I'm not even 100% sure I'm right. So
I have no idea. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not here for whether or not we know Morse code, but that is the bonus feed. We're going to do an entire episode review.
in Morse code.
In Morse code.
Sign up
Taps
for your
only.
Patreon. I do like that Skinner got that. That was a nice touch.
Very cool. But he can't believe it. He turns the pad around to show them, and it's just the name Lucas. Monica here is the only one who hasn't heard that name before. So now, I mean, even though we know who the bad guy is,
Yeah.
that's a really cool reveal. And Scully and Skinner exchange some looks like, what the fuck?
And we're about to get into some territory of looking over the villain's shoulder, which I do kind of like. It is something that the show does sparingly. And in this case, I think it's well done. So
They turn him into kind of like the Ed Gein.
Yes.
Taking care of your creepy mother.
Yeah, exactly.
Overbearing mother, but he's a murderer.
I mean, it's not enough for us to like him, but it's enough for us to round out his character and give him something to chew on as an actor. So I dig that.
A key enters mailbox 4D. You bet it's Lucas arriving home. If only Parallel Universe A had this information.
They could have. What would have happened? The guy would have zipped away. So I mean,
Right.
slow clap. You identified him, and he made one of his sneaky escapes. Yeah.
Yep. When he gets to his apartment, an elderly woman calls to him. It's his mother. Her line of comments and questions clearly indicate her mental state as he prepares a drink for her. Her favorite, Clamato.
Clamato.
What? What?
You said clamato.
Well, right. For the love of God. Are you going to nitpick that?
Only because
First of all, it's a play on the word tomato.
It is it's clamato, and it is a Canadian invention. So I have to stand up for
the one thing you guys have contributed to society. I'll let you have that.
That's it. And ketchup flavored potato chips. And after that, that's it.
Ketchup flavored potato. Did you really?
Yeah. I couldn't even imagine eating them, but that is our claim to fame, apparently.
I do like ketchup, so I would be interested to try it. I'm not going to assume it's good, but
it's like barbecue only without all the other stuff.
It's like those, I don't know, these just came out in gas stations locally, but they're like Mountain Dew infused donuts, which sounds disgusting.
Only in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Haven't tried them yet, but I kind of want to. It's that same level. But
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Snack Food Podcast. We're talking about rating snack food trends.
We're back. We had this discussion in Host Season 2 about snack cakes and Hostess, the company.
All right.
Wow.
Hostess, another Canadian innovation. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Good stuff.
Full circle to find the truth. That's what we got here.
Lucas opens the door to reveal Reyes's gun, spins it in his hand playfully, and puts it back. He brings his mother her drink and returns to the kitchen to make her a sandwich. As she calls to him, wondering what it's going to be, he says it's potted meat, like she always has. You love it. As he holds up a Ziploc bag with a bloody tongue.
Gross.
Icky. Is that the most meta thing ever, though? She's going to be eating a tongue with a tongue, tasting a tongue, which tastes things.
Yes. It's pretty meta. I mean, clearly he's got issues.
No.
Yeah.
This is a well-rounded gentleman. He's just
not
clearly misunderstood.
He's a likable character in a lot of ways. He's just got a few eccentricities.
The question here.
Okay.
And I'm willing to explore it here because this is the extent of their relationship. Mm-hmm. She commands him to do what she wants. He seems okay with it, but he's feeding her tongues. Does he resent his mother? Because I don't get the fact that he's supposed to. Or is he just nuts and he thinks this is okay? Because I think this is more like a subtle fuck you, mom.
Totally.
But I don't get that anywhere else from his character.
Well, this is just it. Like he is a dutiful son. Because he is doing what she asks. You know, he makes her drink. He gets her sandwich. And he's doing it almost unbidden. But it feels like the actual tongue for the meat of the sandwich is his silent act of rebellion.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting choice.
I'm okay with it. But I guess
it makes him an interesting character.
Provokes the question. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what it is that he cannot refuse her because of his mental baggage, but he can accommodate the request in his own psychotic way.
Yeah. Back at Monica's apartment, she and Skinner discuss the case as she throws out John's half-eaten Polish sausage. She's upset she can't be at the hospital, and he reminds her she's under investigation, but then offers an olive branch. He lifts a file. If it's ever mentioned I showed you this, she snatches it. It's the file on Erwin Lukash. She's never seen him, but he was a 1995 patient at mental institution for delusional disorder. Anger subtype presenting itself after his father's death. He was released in 4 months, and he lives adjacent to the shooting with his invalid mother. He heard a bang, went downstairs, and saw Monica exit the alley, he claims. So the only witness to Doggett's shooting lives right there, and Doggett says his name? What are the chances of that? Maybe Doggett was investigating Lukash, and he's involved somehow. Skinner's wheels begin to turn, but a call from Fulmer interrupts him. He's not happy he hasn't been kept in the loop. He's at the hospital, and he wants to see Monica. She's going to talk to Doggett. They've rigged a crude communications device to Doggett, and he will utilize it to speak only to Monica. Fulmer stops Skinner and Scully at the door, escorting her in. Doggett's eyes acknowledge his partner's presence, and she caresses his cheek. Oh.
No, she's wiping away some spare mustard. Or putting mustard on his face, actually.
She's putting it on him because he didn't have the Polish sausage.
That would be great if she pulled out a pot of mustard.
She offers the sausage to him.
The sausage, here, have this.
Here, I know you like this.
I'm going to mince it up and put it into your IV.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has a digital display next to him and an odd-looking device connected to a keyboard. He uses his index finger to scroll and type responses to her. Without asking, he types alive. She associates that with his state. Of course you are. But he corrects. You? How? This causes obvious confusion for both her and Fulmer. He asks her to ask who shot him. His answer begins to frighten her. Your throat.
Yeah, because he starts by writing you, and then that's
he
a little bait and
waits
switch.
10 seconds and then finishes with the R.
Can't find the R key. R in Morse code is like so many things.
Well, he claims that Lukash killed her. Oh my God. At the Lukash home, he lies in bed at night, staring at the ceiling. Disgustingly, he's with his mother. He gets up after making sure she's asleep, but when he walks away, her eyes open.
Oh.
On the darkened street, he pulls his switchblade out, moonlight bouncing off of it, and he continues on. A doctor tends to Doggett, trying to see if he has any sensations on various locations of his body. Monica stands by. He asks her how the case is going, but her answer isn't hopeful. She recounts the inconsistencies. After a moment, she mentions the Polish sausage stand on M Street that her Doggett mentioned. He does know it. What if we're both right, she asks. She was with him at her apartment. He says he was with her at a stakeout. What would it take for those two things to become true? He offers the twin response, but we don't have any. What if we do? Parallel universes coexisting where we have a double. He dismisses it, but she continues. He was in an alley with Lukash, looked away for half an instant, and then Lukash was gone. Plus, her gun has never left her possession. Maybe Lukash can travel between universes like walking through a door, and what if you followed him through one? When you came in, it forced my Doggett out. And after a quick thought, he types, wow. Obviously in disbelief. All right, Andrew, there's our explanation.
There it is. So there is the big question. So if you'll just join me in the study, and we can go over here and pull out the books on interdimensional travel.
Okay.
All right. So if Lukash is traveling between dimensions, Mike, is he swapping his existence with other Lukashes in other dimensions? I think he has to be. I would think,
yeah, he has to be.
Yeah. So Doggett is sucked out of this universe, of Universe A, shot in Universe A.
B. Because you said the stakeout was Universe A. I'm just keeping you consistent here.
No, you're absolutely right. So this Doggett that is in the majority of the episode, the paralyzed Doggett, is the Doggett from Universe A. And mustard on my cheek Doggett at the beginning of the episode is
our Doggett.
Our Doggett from Universe B. Boom. So they swap places. So first of all, I think it'd be cool to see that side of the episode of, Polish sausage Doggett in
Oblivion.
Well, no, he's got to be in the other dimension. He's got to be in.
Maybe. I have wondered, does it swap places or does it just push him out of existence, or what happens there?
I think he has to be in the other dimension having an adventure of his own. But he doesn't remember. So maybe he is in Never Never Land.
I think he's just blinks out of existence.
Until he's allowed to come back. So
right.
All right. So that's question one. I think, I don't know. But listen, there's so much of this episode which is written purely for the emotional tenor of the plot. So I probably should not devote as much thought as I have devoted to what the dynamics of this travel are. But it's a cool thought experiment, and I think that is value that we bring to the listeners every week. So I'm going to go there. So I think it's cooler if when you travel through a dimension, you are swapping yourself with somebody else. So that's how Lucas is able to go to other places, do his dirty business, and then come back. And although does it matter where he goes? I mean, I suppose it's going to be the same for him in every universe, but clearly they are the same people, but in different phases of their lives. Like
in a way, yeah.
In universe,
if you notice, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, in universe A, Reyes has just died. She's had her throat slit, and in universe B, she's totally fine.
Mm-hmm. There are subtle changes, and very, very. When I say subtle, I mean almost non-existent.
Yeah.
The beginning of the episode, Doggett, Reyes, and Fulmer are actually working together. And while there's not a lot there, it's almost like Doggett and Fulmer have a better working relationship than the Fulmer in Universe B, our Fulmer and Doggett. It's a small scene, but it does feel like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a little bit of a different feeling to it, where it's, these are not the people that we have come to know in the first few episodes. So that could just be me. I don't know if it was intended to be that. I mean, I can see them working together and saying similar things in our universe, but
I still see them the same. I didn't think it was enough that it would be different. I think that's another better episode where they switched freely between universes A and B, and you see these two different pairs or sets of characters confronting the same issue. Like, I see this is a total two-parter. And it's a fascinating idea, but I just think, again, they try to condense so much into this episode that it's very hard. But so if there is a swap suggestion, like if every universe or every separate dimensional reality or whatever, you have a double, but we are also saying that these universes are slightly different, then what would happen if the Doggett is dead in one universe? Like, there is nobody to swap with. So I think that's another, it's the solution for this episode is that they were able to, die and force the other guy to come back. But, if he was already dead, then that's not the solution.
I like it.
Yeah. Anyway, there's some really interesting thought experiments in this.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's swinging for the bleachers in this one.
And I'm happy to go into, obviously Final Thoughts territory. But I'm happy to get into that a little bit at the end where...
we're going to be talking about things at the end because the resolution, super unsatisfying.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Giving it up. All right. Well, we go to an interrogation now. Lucas sits in a dark room, confused why he's back. Just a few inconsistency, Fulmer remarks. And Skinner starts in.
We have an eyewitness that says you shot Agent John Doggett.
Well, it's surprising. I can't imagine who would have said that.
Agent Doggett. Yeah, he's regained consciousness. He's very chatty. Among other things, he says that you're a murderer. That you enjoy killing women with a straight razor.
And cutting out their tongues.
Yeah. Wow. What a corker. Mr. Lucas, would you consent to a GSR test? GSR, what is that?
It can reveal whether or not someone recently fired a gun. You wouldn't mind indulging us, would you?
I don't know. I think I'd have to talk to my lawyer about that. Look, my heart goes out to your Agent Doggett. But he's confused. It's clear to me that your female agent, Ms. Reyes, is responsible for this terrible tragedy.
Is there someone who can corroborate your story?
No.
What about your mother? I mean, you live with your mother, right?
She was sleeping. She wouldn't have heard anything.
Huh. Well, still, maybe she can tell us something. Would she be willing to come down here and talk to us?
My mother's in poor health. She gets confused easily.
Oh, we can go to her.
I won't have you harassing her just because you're afraid to admit that one of your people did this. Now, if you're going to arrest me, do it. Otherwise, I'm going home.
Say hi to Mama.
It's that time, everyone. The Magus Media Production sales pitch. Please check out our homepage at magusmediaproductions.net so you can stay up to date on all of our shows. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Magus Media Productions, both of which have our Discord link on it, where you can join us for live shows as we record them for future release. At Magus Media Prods on X, our Patreon, patreon.com/Magus Media, where a $5 donation will help us keep the lights on and bringing you new content, and you get some stickers. Thank you for your consideration and support. I was just thinking.
You have a look on your face.
I was just trying to piece something together, but I'm good.
Well, would you like to share with the rest of the class?
No, I'm good. I was just second guessing something, but I think the episode, first of all, great scene.
Oh, yes, it's good. The lighting is so 7,
absolutely.
The super contrasty and everything.
Mm-hmm. He definitely displays he does not like being questioned, but reveals his hand pretty easily in doing so. So you don't really act like an innocent person when you switch on and off like that. I think that's a clear indicator that he's behind something and he knows they know and they know they know, but they just need to prove it now.
That's the wonderful thing, though, is he knows that they can't possibly prove it. Like the evidence just does not exist. And he's also like, there's no court which would convict him because he's, it's such an incredulous set of facts, right?
Mm-hmm.
That he would somehow be responsible.
Well, Monica passes Lucas as he leaves the police department, and they exchange a look. He turns back slowly, and he taunts her. "How do you do it?" she asks. "There's this world and the one where you play out your sick fantasies." She taunts him too. All that anger had to get released somehow. Not here, but in a world just like this one. He leans in. She knows the story. He again shows his hand without concern. "I enjoyed you. You bled just like a pig." Back at his apartment, he grabs a drink to cool off in the kitchen and calls to his mother. Per usual, he offers to make her clamato. No responses this time. He opens the drawer with the gun, but this time it's gone. Fear sets in. He calls to his mother again. When he enters the living room, he sees the gun on a dinner tray on her lap in bed. "You don't tell me things, Irwin," she starts. He begins to offer a defense, but she continues. "You go out at night and leave me alone. You think I don't know. I know. What is it you're doing that you don't tell me? What is this thing," indicating to the gun, "doing in my house?" She was frightened half to death when she saw it. She begins to sob. The FBI called and left 3 messages. They want to talk to her. He looks at the blinking machine. "Why would they want to talk to me?" she asks. He gets nervous and walks to the machine, deleting the messages. His eyes glaze over, preparing himself for what he's about to do. "Are you going to talk to them?" he asks calmly. "Of course. It's the FBI." And this, Andrew, breaks his heart. He starts crying. He turns towards her and pulls out his switchblade. He takes a few deep breaths before descending on his frightened mother. Well,
let's face it, though. He's been angling to do this for, 38 years.
This is him. In any other situation, I think there is an out for him mentally. Like, whatever has prevented him from killing his mother, who he clearly loves and hates at the same time.
Yes.
This is the one instance where he feels like he just has nowhere else to go. His life is crumbling around him. He's about to be found out because his mom's going to blow the whistle.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what he's doing, but it's obviously not good. So, of course, she's going to talk to the FBI.
I'm just realizing there's another facet to this universe traveling ability of his. He's able to bring back the tongues of his victims, assuming that universe B is his home dimension. Like Reyes seems to think he goes off to other universes to act out his sick fantasies and then comes back to this one.
Mm-hmm.
So he's able to bring back parts of people, which I guess tracks with bringing back Doggett accidentally.
Yeah. Are you about to complain that Monica's tongue doesn't suddenly disappear?
No. See, I'm not complaining. I'm actually just sort of taking it as another data point to how this, if anything, I'm just trying to understand how Stephen Maida wants us to think this all works. I'm trying to apply some consistency to it because it feels very much this just happened for the sake of the episode to present us with a moral conundrum. And I think he's probably a smarter writer than that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the issues you're having with it. You think it's a little convoluted, or are you not able to follow what's happening?
No,
and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean,
no. I'm able to get there based on what he's proposing has happened. No, I don't have an issue with him bringing back the tongues. I think because he's deliberate about it. I think the idea that Doggett is here seems to be accidental. But, and maybe, and we don't have that scene, but maybe there's a moment where, he's passed back into dimension B, sees that shot, crippled Doggett is in the alley with him, and he's like, oh, well, that was interesting. I'm going to have some fun with this.
Mm-hmm. I think the fact that Doggett doesn't die is unexpected, unintended. Obviously, he shoots to kill. He has no remorse for what he's doing, and obviously he kills everyone he comes into contact with. At least, women wise. So, I don't think Doggett being alive is good for him. He didn't expect him to live, number one, but then on top of that, recover to the point of being able to point the finger at Lucas. So. I honestly think, as far as what you're saying is correct, I think it was an accident that Doggett followed him. It's an accident that he didn't die, and he never, ever expected him to recover. So that's why he offers himself to the police and are like, hey, I saw this happen.
And there's some genuine surprise on his face when Skinner says, there's a witness, it's Agent Doggett. Yeah. Oh, yes, he's alive and talking. That was...
That'll shrivel your nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Although I also think this is a guy who can just travel between dimensions at will. Like nothing is going to scare you unless there's some level of risk or, exhaustion that happens from doing it. Exactly. Like we don't know what the parameters of his power are. But.
Right. As far as we know, he can just do it whenever he wants. That is probably the key that's missing. If I had to pick something, the obvious question is, holy crap, Doggett's alive. I got to get out of here for however long, just blink into another dimension and hang out for a while. Mm-hmm. Why doesn't he do that? So, yes, if I had to complain about something in that regard, I would say, why can't he do that? Because it is a glaring question. Yeah. But I'm
I see what I like about this is that it's prompting these questions. It's not so dumbed down that it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's how it works. But it seems to me that if anything, Lucas is a very uncreative user of this power. Because he uses it to kill women and take out their tongues because he's a psychopath. But he seems to also be able to use it to sort of move instantaneously. Like his ability to just disappear from Doggett. And I suppose that's just a form of teleportation. Like he goes into another dimension, moves 5 feet, comes back into the original dimension, and now he's somewhere else. Which is very cool. And it explains his sudden getaways as they were described, or his ability to just disappear. I mean, frankly, it's the first time in X-Files history where they actually explain how a villain can just walk out the door and suddenly be gone. So, slow clap. Yeah, I guess I'm fascinated by the thought experiment of it. I think they could have really embellished it into a very cool episode, even two-parter. Certainly the stakes are high enough. Like putting Doggett into a coma, just another in the cavalcade of Doggett injuries. High stakes is a big deal, but they want to resolve it all in one episode, and I feel like that is just too fast for this big story.
Well, this will be, spoiler, the second time he dies in 2 seasons.
Oh.
Whether or not it's our dog is immaterial.
Yeah.
This is the second time he gets to kick the can.
Yes, but be miraculously reborn.
Well, coming back from commercial, a razor. But it's just a normal razor. Monica shaves Doggett's face for him. In quite the haphazard manner, I might add. She doesn't do this herself.
Mm-hmm.
He criticizes her work in a playful way, and he's been thinking. It's crazy, but he thinks she's right. 2 Doggetts in one world wouldn't work. You can fix this. Pull the plug, he says. She holds back emotions those words immediately bring to her. The reality, though, is if he goes, perhaps her Doggett might come back. And he calls her theory sound. She calls bullshit. You don't believe a word of it. He points out that she believes it. Prove it, he types in a final stamp on the scene. She receives a call from Skinner. They've found Miriam Lukish dead in her apartment. Same MO as Doggett described. They don't know where he is, and he's not going to be easy to find. He'll find us, she ominously states. And that night, at 67 Bennett Avenue, do you know the story behind that?
I read a little something about it, but I didn't read it all. So please tell me.
It is Rod
Serling. Yeah,
Serling,
Twilight Zone. You're right.
Twilight Zone. That's his apartment.
While we're stopped, though, I wanted to say this dramatic left turn that Doggett proposes of pull the plug, and that'll fix it. I don't buy that. I think that is a real reach for the episode. Again, I think it's designed to elicit the moral choice, but how do you get there from here, right? As a decision.
Okay. I know I'm the apologist for everything. So
let's sort of put you there.
Well, I get it. I get what you're saying. And I get it. It's Doggett.
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. I think the Doggett is totally the kind of character to be like, if you're going to tell me I'm going to be paralyzed and the only way I can communicate is with my finger, you can put
pull
me
that
out.
Play.
Yeah, I do not want to live like that. That totally checks out with what I believe his character to be. So I have no problem with that. But using his death as a way to solve what he thinks is the interdimensional problem, like that he's bought into it. A, I don't believe that he's a believer in that regard. And B, I don't know where he gets the idea that killing him is going to restore the original Doggett. Like that, I don't get from A to B on that.
Well, the only reason I'm okay with this in the conceit of the episode is because I don't think he actually believes her. I think it's like you just mentioned. He's paralyzed. This is his life from now on.
Yeah.
Kill me now. He's trying to give her the strength to actually do it. I don't think he thinks that her theory is true, but what the hell? He'd rather die than live the way he's living. So this is the only way she's going to find out. So he's okay with dying, obviously.
But she doesn't advance the theory that his death is going to sort of restore order.
No, but I think this is the only way that it would ever work is he can't go anywhere. So how is he going to get back to where he would quote unquote need to be, which is universe A? So let's try this.
So I think that the better solution, the sort of structurally better solution is to somehow compel Lukesh to reverse the direction, like to push him back and get the original Doggett back. That is not going to happen.
That would involve him slinging this Doggett over his shoulder and taking a ride,
or coming into the hospital room and making the switch or whatever.
Like a gate or something.
that is not how the episode's going to go. But
No.
I, when I saw this, I was like, well, he followed him through. He's clearly got to use him as the portal to get back, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're sort of going down this route of, if you kill me, that will make some sort of vacuum and suck the original Doggett back in, because that's what's supposed to be. I just looked at it like, I don't think it's a bit of a stretch. Like, I know we're way out in a limb anyway for how this power is supposed to work, but I don't know. I thought it was more of a convenient way to merge a heartfelt, no, I can't pull the plug on you. And I guess it didn't sit well with me.
I buy your concern, and I think it's valid.
Can I also just say that I think it would have been a much more interesting episode to lean away from Lukas as this psychotic, killer with no conscience and just crazy. Give him some depth and get them to a point where they can align with each other and realize where they are, and that his one final act of good karma can be to restore her Doggett back here. I don't know. Obviously, that's a little bit of a different territory that they wouldn't go in the 2000s, but
interesting.
Yeah,
I think you're trying to give him a little bit too much to do here. Too much of an arc, and I'm not saying that's bad.
Yeah.
I'm saying that for a 40-minute episode, I think his
100%. Too much to do in 42 minutes. You're absolutely right.
All right. Well, back at her apartment, it's dark. She takes off her jacket and hears a clattering in the bathroom. A bottle on the floor. She's a little jumpy. Scully, Fulmer, and Skinner are in another van down the street, watching everything. It's dead outside. She prepares to check her apartment one more time, and Monica picks up the bottle in the bathroom. As she heads back into the hall, Lukas snatches her from behind, wraps her in his arms, and covers her mouth. He yanks her earpiece out. He's not stupid. He knows they're outside. The van may as well say FBI on it. Lukas wants to hear her scream. Call out to them. They can't hear you. Scully and Fulmer try to reach Monica, sensing something amiss. He's in there, she says. You ruined everything, he cries softly into her ear. You made me do it. This time, he gets to bleed her slow. Fulmer kicks the door open, sees Monica with a knife to her throat, Lukas behind her. Takes aim and fires. The bullet strikes him dead in the forehead. The rest of the cavalry arrives. Monica just catches her breath. How close she came to death. Later on at the hospital, she visits Doggett. The hospital's quiet. Dark. She shuts the door and quietly locks it. She holds his hand gently, saying her goodbyes, and then turns his monitors and turns off the alarms. She moves now to the power source and turns the machine off after a moment of contemplation. The respirator stops. He stares at her as she cries. She closes her eyes and tears stream down her cheeks. She takes a breath and opens them. Her brows furrow slightly. The camera pulls back and circles her. She's in her apartment, in her living room. John approaches from the kitchen. Forget about the plates. He sees his partner's distress and asks what's wrong. Without words, she hugs him. She's good. He doesn't understand, but allows her this moment. She holds him tightly, tears in her eyes. Credits.
Mike, it was all a dream.
So, okay. All right. I understand. I do understand your complaint. And I'm with you on that, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think it destroys the episode.
Okay.
I just think they approached it the wrong way.
I
think there should have been a small montage of Monica racing home. I don't care if it's slow-mo or something, but she should have gone home to find Doggett in her apartment. That would have at least handled it a little bit better than she closes her eyes and wakes up in her apartment, literally where she gets the phone call. That I don't get.
Yeah.
The problem here is that everyone still knows what happened, but this implies they don't, and I don't like that.
100%.
So I don't see why they wanted to end it that way. I don't see
I
the
know
value
exactly
in
why
that.
they did, because they
there's
didn't want to. They didn't want to laden themselves with the memories of what happened to everybody else. Like, again, it is scientifically impossible to articulate it and explore it and examine it. So it's just easier to pretend it didn't happen.
Well, but it doesn't matter for any other episode. So why would they put so much care into this one to make sure everyone forgot?
Yeah. Except that this isn't the first time they've trodden this ground. They kind of did this with Dreamland.
A little bit, yeah. But they absolutely made that something where time is actually literally snapping back. So that makes more sense than this, where you've got two dimensions parallel to each other. They're side by side. If you just take the rules of the episode, one person goes there, the other one gets knocked out, or they swap places, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
As it stands, your analogy, universe B is our universe. Their Doggett came in, pushed ours out. So when he dies in our universe, the other one supposedly comes back. But
that is
everyone still remembers. So why make a big deal about it? And they don't. They end the episode. But the way they end it make it seem like everyone else has no clue that this just happened.
Oh, and as you correctly guessed, I did not like that. Because it turns it into, it was all a dream territory.
Yeah.
I if anything, the solution is she blinks her eyes, looks up, and they have a moment of, she goes, what happened? She forgets everything. And he looks at her saying, you're okay. And she's like, well, for a moment there, I thought I had an image of you in a coma and I pulled the plug, but it feels like a dream now. And, then they can just go on and never talk about this episode ever again. But she clearly remembers everything. And that is now canon, through the rest of this. I mean, not that it ever comes up, but you know what I mean? It's like this episode. And I remember talking about this in Little Green Men. This is the first time I had this thought. On its face, I hated it. It was just this weird ass episode that stood out as wrong in so many ways. But then if you took it outside of the canon of the X-Files and just examined it on its own, it was like, you know what, this is actually right. And was it Milagro or the Burning Heart one where the writer is inventing the story for Scully? Another great example. Take that outside. Sorry, it wasn't Milagro. What was the name?
It was Milagro.
It was Milagro. Thank you. So take it outside of the X-Files and just examine it on its own thing. Great, amazing episode. But as part of the overall show, terrible. So in that sense, maybe this episode kind of works. But I maybe it's a binge generation now where we see shows and we imagine these characters having an arc. Maybe that's my problem, is that I am looking at it through that lens, and I shouldn't be, because it wasn't designed to be looked at the show this way. But
I don't think it's unreasonable to
we get to know these characters, and this kind of shit's happening to them.
Just because something came out when streaming was not even a thought in anyone's mind, I don't think that's sufficient argument to say we can't look at it in a very close-knit, this episode, something happened, how are they not talking about it? That's logical. Yeah. But I just don't think they cared. I don't think that's the mentality of Hollywood at that point.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
I think Stephen Maeda needed a way to get out of this episode at 40 minutes, and the way was going to be, she pulls the plug, he dies, everything snaps back to normal, we move on. They do not talk about it. We will never talk about this.
I'm okay with that. I'll be honest. Like, I understand what you're saying, and I can even agree with the fact that they could have explored many different ways to do this. And like you said, I think it could, like I said with Daimonicus, maybe they had something to flesh out into 2 episodes. They could have done 2 episodes with this.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But I think within the parameters of what Stephen Maeda did or wrote, it makes sense enough for me. I'm okay with that because they don't ever talk about it. Monica's the only one who knows. At least that's an assumption that I get from the ending, or at least the way that it's written.
Yep.
I don't know that. They don't explicitly say that. It's just the way it feels. So I'm not cool with that, but at the same time, there's just enough going on in this episode with the two parallel universes that I can believe that the death of the fake Doggett would allow this to happen. This would bring back our Doggett and everything's happy. It's okay with me. I'm okay with the whole episode. I think it's actually one of the better episodes in season 9 if I had to put my finger on it right now. I'm actually really okay with the way this one fleshed out. The power isn't insane. It's shot pretty well. I think there's at least one or two interesting twists. I'm okay with the killer not being a mastermind. He's just a guy with an ability that he tries to use at his will, and he kills himself in the end by getting caught.
He's undone by his own
he thinks his power is almighty and he can do whatever he wants. Unfortunately, he doesn't think to escape. So
his smarter play would have been to take, like, he should have realized that he can take people with him, because he took Doggett with him, even accidentally. So he should have taken Monica to Dimension C.
Or A.
Where they're not having a stakeout.
Or A.
Well, they're
his age. The dead Monica warps into her apartment, no tongue. And the case is closed. They have no idea where Lucas went, and now their friend's dead. That's the alternate ending to this one. It's really dark, but
Dimension A is a shambles because the Doggett that got sucked out from Dimension A is replaced by Dimension B Doggett. The guy, he's got little mustard on his chin, and he comes back in. And he finds Monica has been killed, and everybody thought that he got shot. So now his episode, which would be actually a very interesting episode, but John Doe kind of steals the thunder on that sort of, I don't know what I'm doing here arc. Yeah. But in that episode, he has to piece together how Monica died, and now he's maybe being made culpable for it. No, I guess they know.
You know what's interesting that I never really thought about until right now is he's now wanted in 2 dimensions. Because if he does go back to parallel A, which is where he commits his crimes, they're already on his case. That's where the episode starts. And now that our dimension is on to him, he really has nowhere to go unless they pull open the whole Pandora's box of a million universes, which I'm so glad they didn't do. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if I see another fucking movie or TV show with multiverses and time travel and everything's connected, I'm going to stab myself in the eye. It is so overdone. And everyone thinks...
It is. In 2001.
Absolutely not. And at this point, this is actually still kind of clever.
Yeah.
At this point in our life, 2026, I want to shoot myself every time someone thinks they're so fucking intelligent because, there's so many universes and they're just threads on a rope and they're all interconnected. And oh my God, let's write a show where we have 3 time periods and we're going to jump forward and back and to the present in every cut. And isn't this clever? No, it's not. I'm sorry. I'm so fucking tired of it. I apologize, Andrew. You go ahead. I had to get that off my chest.
Well, I enjoyed every minute of that. All that to say that I think this episode really only makes sense if only one Lucas in all the multiverses has this ability. Because if they all have the ability to travel...
that would be a mess.
It gets messy real fast.
Yeah.
So I think only one is messed up enough and uses the ability this way. In every other dimension, he's pretty local and probably gets shut down pretty quick. But
I'll tell you one thing I wish they had done, because it would keep it centralized. It would keep it localized and not as, he can just do whatever he wants. I think what they should have done is kind of a thing where he can sense a gate or something where he can only go between universes in certain areas that he's happened to stumble upon. The superpower is that he can sense the gate or the tear in fabric, and hey, this alley is actually one of them. I'm going to use this to escape right now. Don't make it so there's 30 in the city. Just make it so there's one or two that he's managed to find in the world, and he needs to get back there to get to his dimension, or something that would create tension where there maybe a chase could ensue, and he needs to get back to this place to evade the cops or something.
Well, and if it's a gate, if it's, the full moon is happening and, the planets are in the right alignment, and in this month he's been able to do this thing, then that allows us to, have Monica wheel her doggett to the gate and send him back, and poof, her doggett comes
Push
back
in the hospital bed.
But I mean, as soon as Fulmer drills Lukish between the eyes, immediately I was like, okay, so we're not going to be having him have a reckoning and send Doggett back through. We're not going to have that resolution. Nope. And that's fine. That's a choice. I also think that's probably not in the FBI handbook to take that risky a shot.
And I'm going to shit in fucking stepping in it right now. But as much as I enjoy this episode, they now have a dead body on their hands. And this person has, in their world, done nothing wrong because there's no Doggett that's been killed.
No, missing mom. He's got a missing mom.
Well, he does have a mom. Okay. I guess that works.
Yeah.
He could be pinned for killing his mom.
Exactly. The other stuff is a little bit tangential.
Bit murky. There's no Doggett that was crippled and lying in a hospital bed. But
they put the X in the X-Files.
All right. I'll walk that one back. I guess he did kill his mom. So
yeah, I think that one works. But I just take issue with the extremely risky, shot there.
Monica's just standing.
Monica.
Oh, thanks for the consideration, Fulmer. Just fire past my face. I appreciate that.
He's like, I was just shooting center mass. I got lucky.
I was just firing. I didn't know.
I didn't even think. I just
haven't been able to fire a gun all season. It's been 3 episodes, 4 episodes.
Okay.
All
well,
right.
I think we probably hammered on that one pretty far.
Do we have any listener comments?
Do we?
I think we do. I thought I saw something.
I mean, I shouldn't be so surprised. Of course we have listener comments. We always have listener
People
comments.
always engage.
That's right.
Emily Messenger says, 4D is probably one of my favorite season 9 episodes. Creepy villain, cool alternate timeline plot, but poor Doggett. How many times is this that he's died in one way or another since he joined the X-Files? Very true.
Number 2.
Very true. This is his second death and the quadrillionth time getting the crap kicked out of him in some way or shape or form. So
I did make a list.
You did?
I did sort of try and catalog his injuries and unfortunate things that happened to him. He gets put into a coma in Providence, so
God. His poor brain. If he doesn't CTE and kill someone by the end of this season, I don't know.
He should be out on a medical disability for the second time. Oh, well, I guess this one doesn't count. This paraplegism.
I think what they should do, they should have shot this at the end of the season and had him just be there in a cast for the whole final episode, because that's just what his character has been reduced to.
Weekend at Bernie him around. It would be so good.
All right, Andrew. I think that's it. Why don't you?
I think that is. We have 5D'd the 4D.
We have taken it to another dimension in analyzing this one, and we had some good discussion. I am actually happy with that.
Yeah,
very good stuff.
Like I said, I was more interested in the dynamics of the power compared to the actual sort of big moral arc of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I would still like to see the story from John Doggett's perspective. I know this was a Monica story, but he arrives eating a Polish sausage at the scene of Rhea's murder. That would have been a very interesting.
What the hell?
Like they could have done a two-stream story where we see his perspective and we see her perspective, and then they merge back, or he comes back to join her. That would have been cool too.
Some relish drops into her corpse. Oh, shoot!
What the? Oh shit!
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been good.
All right.
Well, there it is.
Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. And Andrew, if you'd like to say goodbye, please do so.
Lovely listeners, thank you for joining us again in this amazing episode that we've just covered. And of course, if you're in an alternate dimension, the solution is always to look at the sun. If it looks slightly different than the sun you're used to, you are in an alternate dimension.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at tinhxfilespod, no dash, to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.